Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick.
And my name is Chris.
And today we're going to talk about how to become a millionaire with the project 𝗕𝗘𝗪. This is a fantastic project, Chris. This is one of the personal favorites of yours, isn't it? To do
It
with
is.
healthcare and all of that good stuff. If you're into 𝗕𝗪𝗪 as a project or invested there, definitely go ahead and smash that like button and show us just how much you love this project 𝗕𝗪𝗪. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. In doing so, you'll be kept up to date with all of the live streams as we do them and all of the additional videos that we're putting out, just like this one. Chris, is there anything you want to add at this point?
No, let's get straight into the detail, Nick.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hop us over to Live Coin Watch here for 𝗕𝗪𝗪. So 𝗕𝗪𝗪 is all about healthcare and integrating blockchain technology into the healthcare sector. Now, for those who don't know much about it, we do recommend that you highly check out some of the other streams and videos, or just dig in deep into what 𝗕𝗪𝗪 is trying to do, because this is a potential big project that could make you a millionaire very relatively quickly, Chris. And everything that they're doing is something that you want to be paying attention to. Right, so for 𝗕𝗪𝗪 currently, there is a circulating supply of 385 million. Total supply is 1 billion, and a maximum supply of 1 billion there as well. Now, the all-time high for this was 51.7 cents, and it's currently trading at 9.1 cents. For the all-time chart here, you can see, it started off in 2019, reached an all-time high around June last year, and has been trading sideways pretty much since. Now, they've kind of gone through a little bit of volatility in terms of, charts, and this is usually what happens with these kinds of projects. They start off high and then come down and kind of go relatively flat. And that's because currently the utility and the use case of these projects doesn't generally make too much difference to the price. It just generally follows the trending or the trend set by Bitcoin mainly. So, if Bitcoin goes up, the rest of the altcoins tend to go up, and likewise when Bitcoin drops, then unfortunately the rest of it tends to drop too. So I think we're probably talking here was to be, this was like the pandemic when it hit. So this little section here when everything kind of collapsed a bit. But there's a couple of things here that we want to kind of point out, isn't there, Chris? So one is it is a 1 billion maximum supply. Now we focus in on the maximum supply because it kind of gives you an idea of scarcity. So when there's only a maximum supply of 1 billion tokens, comparing that to a project that has maybe a maximum supply of 100 billion, they can't really be compared. Anything with a low maximum supply will basically increase in value in the longer term. And me and Chris are very long-term players. So if you were to try to compare 𝗕𝗪𝗪 to something like XRP, it wouldn't really be right, because XRP has a 100 billion total supply or maximum supply. So, ultimately, 𝗕𝗪𝗪 should be valued slightly higher than something with a higher capacity, because it will potentially, the single token would have basically 100 times more value to it than something that has 100 billion tokens, okay? So that's why we tend to focus in on the maximum supply. We also use the maximum supply in our calculations because it basically gives you that worst case scenario, okay? If we were to just take your current supply and then try to do calculations based on only 385 million, that's only current for today, whereas if we take the maximum supply, that's long-term worst case scenario, because no more coins will exist. So that's what we focus in on, the maximum supply. Now, not every project has a maximum supply. They'll just have a circulating and a total supply, so you have no choice but to use those in your calculations. But because 𝗕𝗪𝗪 has a maximum supply of 1 billion, it kind of gets my attention, Chris, because it means that there is going to be a limited amount of these tokens for the total lifespan of the project, and therefore it perks up my attention, specifically when we're talking about something that touches something like the medical industry here, that spans such a huge multi-trillion-dollar industry. So straight away, I'm seeing dollar signs, if you will, for this particular project. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare this to another 1 billion maximum supply project. We're going to look up Link here. Now, Link has also a very similar circulating supply currently of 390 million and a maximum supply of 1 billion. And if we look up the Solve again, we can see we're on 185 million circulating supply and a 1 billion maximum supply. So those two projects right at this moment are also very, you can compare them pretty much like for like, and also the maximum supply in the future is going to be similar, well, exactly the same. Now, obviously, they're two totally different use cases, and we get that. But at the moment, use case doesn't dictate price. It's basically just investors throwing money in, a little bit of FOMO, and you kind of got this catalyst for huge price discovery. So Chainlink has kind of had that already, okay? But we haven't seen such a similar thing for Solve here. So an all-time high of 51 cents is incredibly low for something that like Solve, and the team at Solve as well is really well established, and I think they actually brought in someone from one of their previous clients. So Solve actually integrated with a healthcare business, and also the CEO from there actually now works for Solve rather than his existing business after that integration. So there is huge potential here. They've got a lot of expertise in the field, so do go ahead and do some research and check out Solve. But let's get into the numbers here. How can we become a millionaire with Solve, right? So if we take a look at that Chainlink, okay, the all-time high was 1979. So I'm going to use that all-time high as a premise for the all-time high and the potential of Solve based on the same kind of circulating supply and the total supply here. So the money that flowed into Chainlink could also flow into Solve without any issue, in my opinion. But I do not believe that 1979 is the maximum value that Solve could see. Okay, Solve, in my opinion, could go much higher than 1979 as we start to get trillions flowing in. So I'm going to bring up the old trusty calculator, Chris. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our $1 million, which is our target, and we're going to divide that by the 1979 all-time high for Chainlink as a potential high for Solve, and I'm going to go and press equals. That means that we need 50,530 tokens, okay, with Solve, in order to generate that potential theoretical $1 million. Okay, so now how much is that actually going to cost us? So let's have a look. If we pull in and multiply that by the current value here, so 0.091892, so the current Solve price, and press equals, it's basically $4,643, Chris, as an investment. Now, this might be a slightly longer term hold. I think this probably won't achieve that kind of value until 2025, something like that. But in terms of an investment of a 5-year return, that would be something I am building towards. I am trying to build up 50,000 tokens in the Solve project here myself. I'm not sure if that's a personal goal for yourself as well, Chris.
Yeah, I'm really building, on quite a few projects, and this is definitely one of them. What X is that?
Yeah, so let's just work out what the X is. So if we are 1979, and we'll divide that by the 0.91892, we're talking a 21x.
Beautiful.
So not huge. Can I have that even right? So a massive potential gain there, nonetheless. I think that's got to be higher than that, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be closer to 200%, but
yeah. Now let me get the old calculator, redust that off, and try again. Maybe I just got my calculation wrong. It is early in the morning here, so do apologise for that one. Let me try that again. Right, so I think $4,500, Chris, is very, very reasonable. I can't see that being unrealistic by any stretch of the imagination. So let's just see what 4,648. Yeah, it's a 215x for solve here. So, for a 5-year hold, this is something that me and Chris are both trying to do. We're trying to generate generation level wealth, right? So we look at these kind of projects that have low maximum supplies, low kind of current supplies, reference those against other projects that have done well, obviously only looking at projects that we believe have long-term value to the real world. We don't just invest in anything. And yeah, we're just looking at multiple different projects, as Chris just was highlighting there, invest in multiples and create generation level wealth. And this particular space, the crypto space, is definitely something that's going to be able to have a huge wealth transfer and achieve just that goal for us, Chris.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm in other markets also, but this is the key one for me.
Absolutely. Right, we're going to call that there. So if you are really excited for Solve, go ahead and smash up that like button for Chris. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. And in doing so, you'll be kept up to date with all of the live streams as we put them out and all of these additional videos. And with that said, have a fantastic day and we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, take care.